That is one topic that we discuss a lot among parents about education because now so many people think about education a lot. And then one thing that I think different from other people is about rule or discipline. Most of parents think rule is very important. We need to focus on rule. We need to discipline our kids so they can behave well. But I think different from most of people. I think kid doesn't need rule or discipline. Even adult, we don't need that. Rule or discipline, when we have it, we always want to break it. That's why so many people violate the law, violate the rules everywhere. And if you don't have rule, it's gonna cause trouble. It's gonna make a mess. It's gonna be the disaster in the world. Many people think like that. But for me, instead of have a lot of rules, we have less rules, but we increase common sense. Common sense is more important than rules. Instead of have a lot of rules, we want to increase common sense instead. Common sense is different from the rules. For example, like in the military, they were trained to be disciplined a lot all the time, but they will be disciplined only in front of their boss, in front of the people who control discipline. If they are outside of the sight of people who control them, they are another person. Or kids, if you have a lot of rules for your kid, if you have a lot of discipline for your kid, they will look good, look nice, they will behave well in front of you. But whenever you turn your back away, there will be another person. So that thing is not work well in my thinking. Those rules not good for kids. It may be good for the country, good for the big society, but for the kids, I don't think we need a lot of rules for them. But what we need for the kids more is common sense. Common sense is from inside, but rules from outside. Rules from it come from somebody else that want kids to be like this, like this, like this. Rules at the beginning it come from military, from the army. They need that. In the past, they need the rules so they can control people and they can lead people go to the same way so they can win in the war. But in the normal life, we don't need that because rules ruin our imagination. Rules control our new idea, new thinking a lot. That's why I don't like to use a lot of rules and discipline for kids. Kids need to have a lot of freedom to do what they want to do. They will grow well. But most of people think that they're gonna cause a lot of problem if they have too much freedom, not enough rules. But from my experience, when kids have more freedom, have less discipline, they will increase common sense. It's come from inside of each kid. For example, at my farm, we have many kids live together and we do homeschooling. We never have discipline to the kids at all. They can play most of the time. So we taught them only 1 or 2 hours per day at most, not every day. So they have tons of free time, they can do everything. But the kids very nice. They did not make any problem. And then they spend so much time focused on what they want to know. Because they have freedom to search for what they want to do. They're looking for what they like, what they love, and then they focus on that thing. So they learn a lot. That's one kid at the farm. He studied a lot by himself, and then he discovered that if he study in early morning, he will learn more, he will understand easier, he will develop himself better. So he decided to not eat dinner for many months because dinner is too late at the communities. So he decided to not eat dinner. He went to bed early so he can wake up early morning at 4. He start to write article, write a novel, write a book. He start to learn, to research more. He think in the morning is the best time for him. So he create this system by himself. No adult involved with his decision. So I think this is what we call common sense. When you have freedom to do what you like to do, you start to create your common sense. And then you're not gonna create a problem for other people. Because if he make a problem to himself, for himself or for other people, he's going to lose their freedom. He's going to lose their time to do what he want to do because he's gonna be in trouble. So he start to create the way of living by himself. He's nice to everybody. He's friendly. He's have a lot of fun. So I think common sense is more important than discipline. It's not about kids only. It's including adults also. We have so many people live together at the farm. More than 20 people live together for more than 17 years. For 17 years, we never have rules or discipline at the farm. But we have less problem than many organizations. We have less problem than everywhere so far that I know. We never have argument, never have fighting. So it's so nice. When we have no rules, nobody break the rules because there's no rule to break. And then people start to use common sense more. For example, we never have a meeting about drinking alcohol. Instead of talk about alcohol or drinking problem, we taught people at the farm how to make wine, how to make rice wine, how to make whiskey. We make it ourselves. If you want to drink, drink it. But if you like to drink, don't buy it. Make it yourself. What happened is nobody become alcoholic at the farm. They drink a little bit, and then they stop. And then when they drink, they don't spend a lot of time sitting and drinking like normal people. After 8 o'clock in the evening, they know that people are going to bed. They will stop. This is common sense. We never talk about that. They just stop. So they don't want to disturb other people. This is common sense. It grew up in everybody's mind by itself. We never talk about smoking cigarette. We grow tobacco before. If you want, you can grow tobacco. But everybody who smoke, they always walk away very far. And then they smoke After they finish smoking, they came back to be with other people. So they don't let kids or other people see that they smoke. They don't want other people to smell the smoke. Even we never talk about it, but this is what happened by itself. This is what I think common sense is more important thing. We need to create more common sense for human. But now we focus on create more rule, more discipline. So everywhere, full of rules everywhere now. So we have less freedom in our life. Everything we have law or rule control us. In the developed country, you just want to make a septic tank. You need to get permit. You need to pay a lot of money. You need to get somebody to inspect it. Because people have no common sense. What is good way to make a septic tank? If you want to build a house, it's even bigger than the septic tank. You need a lot of permit. You need a lot of architect, engineer, or so many people involved with it. Because they don't feel like it's safe enough. People don't know what is safe or not safe. We need to have somebody to come and inspect and responsible for that thing. So rules everywhere now. When we have less common sense, we increase more rules. When we have more rules, we cannot move much because everything is blocked everywhere. We have less freedom. So the more we develop our country, we will have more rules. So developed country means you have less freedom. Undeveloped country means you have more freedom. Like in America, in Europe, in many places, you cannot do things easily. You need to get permit in almost everything. So it's very hard for normal people or poor people to survive because every permission, you need to pay money. In the past, people can build their own house. People can do everything easily everywhere. You can cook, you can sell food, you can sell vegetable, you can sell milk, you can sell anything anywhere easily. So it's a lot of freedom. That still happens in many undeveloped countries or developing countries. But whenever we develop more, we will have more rule, more discipline, and then you cannot move much. And people have to stay in the small square room. You cannot move a lot because everywhere is a lot of rules, a lot of law. So life is like in the jail. That's what we call develop. That's what we call civilization. Because most of people has no common sense. They have no common sense. They don't know what is safe, what is not safe. But they rely on the law or regulation to protect them. So this stop the growth of imagination of human. There's so many simple problems that we cannot solve in the world now because we have no common sense to solve the problem. I think why do humans have to develop our life in the way that have more and more and more rules, more discipline, more rule, more discipline, more rule, and you cannot do anything easily? Why don't we develop common sense? When we have common sense, we know what to do. We have a lot of responsibility. We know we care other people. We know if we do that, it will impact this thing. It will cause a lot of problems for these people. So we will not do that. So common sense is very important thing to make we grow with freedom. We enjoy our life more. So education now is not about common sense. It is about rule or discipline. We learn how to create more rules. Every company, every organization, every country, tons of rules. You cannot study all of them. Too much to know. So it's quite tired to think about develop our life in this way. Is it possible to come back, step back a little bit, rules, create more common sense inside us? Let us learn, let us know how to protect ourselves, how to do things ourselves more. But now we try to get rid of a chance to develop our common sense. When we get sick, you need to go see doctor only. You're not allowed to do anything with yourself. When the ants walk into your ear, you're not allowed to put anything in your ear. In developed country, you need to go see doctor only. So we lost a chance to protect ourselves. We need to go see doctor, but the number of doctor is very limited, very small. So we need to rely on them. Just ant walk into your ear. When you put water in there, the ant just walk out. That's all. Why we need to go see doctor? Some simple thing like that. We did not learn anymore. We make it complicated and harder for everybody. And then when we have rules, it involves with the court, with the judge, with the justice system. So people sue each other a lot in some thing that if we have common sense, it will never happen. If we walk in the airport, you can see the escalator moving. Every time you go close to that escalator, they will say, oh, they will say, end of the walkway, end of the walkway. Every time they will say that. If you work close to that thing, you get crazy. You have to hear the same word over and over many thousand times per day. Why they need to turn on that tape all the time when people get there? Just to prevent somebody fall down and they're gonna sue the airport. Because we did not develop common sense. We need to rely on the rule or the discipline to protect us. Everywhere we have rules, we have regulation. Everywhere, full everywhere. That's why we have less and less and less freedom in our life. The more we develop, we will have more regulation, more rules. So I think is it possible to come back, to develop more common sense, to decrease rule, to decrease regulation, so we can breathe easier. We can do many things that we want to do easily without permit. Many things we can do easily, but they not allow us to do that. So I think it's the time to think about it. If we keep doing like this, in the next 10 years, they may maybe have the rule how to walk, how to eat, how to do things. So what's the point of life then? So let's help to think. Let's help to imagine how can we change the world better and easier and more fun with less rule, less discipline. How can we develop our world, increase more common sense? Common sense is so easy. It's so fun. I think we can do it if we help each other, if we help to invent more, study more, experiment more. The world will be in our hand. Our life will be in our hand too. I think we can do it. Thank you.